welcome to my video. My name is Danielle and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the Netherlands, also known for my Mrs. Brightside screen name. And I'm very excited to participate in this catalog launch organized by the wonderful Stephanie. And in this catalog launch, I'm going to show you a project made with the Celebrate with Tags bundle. This is a wonderful, versatile bundle as it consists of a clink stamp set with several great sentiments for different occasions, but also several images. And it consists of a corresponding tag die set, and I'll show you it has dies for two different tags. One of the tags dies I will be using, so you'll see that a little bit later. And then in addition to that, you have several images that you can easily die cut, like the candles, hearts, a balloon. They also have a small little die which takes out the dots, so you can create like a starry sky. And you have like a circle, a heart, and also a rectangle, which I'll be using to cut out like a window from one of the tags. And last but not least, you have several label dies that correspond with the sentiments, these two and these two that are in this bundle. Like I said, it's very versatile. You can use it for projects for many different occasions. And this time I am actually, even though it's very hot here in the Netherlands right now, I'm focusing on Christmas. So I'm going to be making a Christmas inspired project, and I'll be telling you what you need in regards to cardstock and measurements. I will do that in centimeters and in inches. This is our base card because we're going to be making a card with a tag. And the base card is balmy blue cardstock, and it is 14.5 centimeters by 21 centimeters, and then scored in the middle at 10.5. I always like to burnish my score lines with my bone folder, so you get a nice crisp edge. And if you would be working in inches, then your base card would be 5.5 inches times 8.5, and then scored in the middle at 4.25. What else do you need? You need a piece of cardstock to die your tag from. And I took the width of an A4, which is 21 centimeters and by 8 centimeters. So that's what you approximately need for this tag. You could be a little bit shorter, and if you would do this in inches, you would need 3.25 inch times 8.5, also the width of your regular cardstock. Then you'll need a couple of layers. We have 2 layers of the same size. Excuse me. One of them is basic white and the other one is starry sky, one of our new in colors. And both of them are in centimeters, 10 centimeters by 14 centimeters, or if you would be working in inches, 4 inches times 5.25 inch. So that is that. Then we're going to be using something from our celebration folder. And this is the silver and gold specialty paper. The back is white, and on the front you have gold or silver metallic accents. You have stripes and you have dots, and I chose the silver stripes for this project. And then you'll need 2 pieces, same size, one of basic white cardstock and one of the beautiful snowflake specialty vellum. Both of these pieces are the same size, and they are 4.5 centimeters by 7 centimeters, or 1/3 inch by 2/3 inch. In addition, you'll need some scraps which we are stamping on and which we will be die cutting. But first, we're going to be putting away some of our layers, and we're going to start with the die cutting. So I'm going to take my cardstock for my tag, and I'm going to take some of those scraps of paper because I'm going to be die cutting, and 3 of these snowflakes, also from that wonderful die set that comes with this Celebrate with Tags bundle. We're going to be using this rectangle, to cut out a window from this tag. And we're going to be stamping a sentiment and a glove for die cutting. And I'm using Polished Pink and Starry Sky. In addition, we are stamping the inside layer of this card. So I'm going to put this aside for a second, and first we're going to do some stamping. On the inside of this card, I want to add a sentiment and also the little glove so that it comes back from the front, also on the inside of the card. And I'm stamping the sentiment with Starry Sky ink. And I always use my grit paper to make sure that my layer is put down straight, so that it gives me a bigger chance of stamping my sentiment straight. That's not one of my fortes, but hey, I do my best, and I think this one worked out pretty good. And then in the corner, I'm going to add one of those cute little polished pink gloves. Now the inside layer of my card is ready. I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to be stamping that glove one more time, once again with polished pink. And we're going to be die cutting that. I'm going to put my polished pink ink away. And then I'm going to be stamping the cute little sentiment, Be Jolly. And I'm going to be stamping that with Starry Sky. I chose some modern colors for this card, so not necessarily the red and the green, but of course this card would also be great in rustic colors. For example, a base of crumb cake and then combining it with red and green. But I chose for a little bit of a fresh color scheme for this card. Good. We're going to be grabbing the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I'm going to be fast forwarding the video or speeding it up while I die cut the snowflakes, the tag, and I will be cutting out the window at the same time as that I'm cutting out the tag, and I'll use some washi tape to keep my window and die in place, and I'll be cutting these sentiments and the glove. I'll do that all in a sped up motion, and I'll be right back with you. Here we have our die cuts, 3 of the little white snowflakes, and we have our label, we have a wonderful sentiment, and we have the glove. I don't know if it's called a glove. I think in English it's called different. Oh, it might be a mitten. I'm sorry. I said glove the entire time, but it might be a mitten. Sorry. So we have that. We cut out this little rectangle from the label. This rectangle you can use for another project if you want to. And now we're going to be putting together our card. We have our base card here. We have our layers, and we have the inside for our label. And I am actually going to be using the, the negative of this snowflake to add a tiny little bit of blending. I'm going to grab my blending brush and some balmy blue. It is a very small mask, so you need to make sure that you don't get like the straight edges, that you go over the piece of cardstock. So it asks for a little bit of a light hand blending, and it's just a small little detail. And I hope you can see that well. So it gives you another opportunity to use the negative spaces of your die cuts to add a little bit of an accent to your card. Very, very light inking. And of course you can die cut these from a larger piece of cardstock, so you have less of a chance, and use of course maybe the masking paper, but it wasn't delivered yet, but maybe use the Stampin' Up! Masking paper to actually make sure that you do not get any lines of the edges of the cardstock. So that is that. We're going to be first gluing some of our layers together. I'm going to take my seal and I'm going to add a layer to the inside of my card, and those tiny snow or blended snowflakes really freshen up this inside. And then we're going to be using our seal to adhere our silver and gold specialty paper to the Starry Sky layer. And we're going to be using the seal to add the vellum to the basic white rectangle. Because it will not show through the vellum, and that of course is something we like. And then we're going to be taking the bone folder because this tag is a tag with already score lines in them, so I'm using my bone folder to crease them. And I decided, I don't know which is the right way, but when I worked with these dies before, I put the window in this side, but then when I put it together, I still saw a little bit of like the sides. I don't know why that happened, but it went like that. So that's why I decided to actually put the window in the front side and close the tag like this, because it gave me a much cleaner look. This is wonderful to make like shaker tags. I am not going to make a shaker out of this one, but it is perfect to do that. I'm actually using my multi-purpose liquid glue right now because I want to be able to move this piece around a little bit, because I'm first going to add it by eye, and then I'm going to close the tag and then see if I need to straighten it out a little bit, or that the edges are not seen, if there is no balmy blue showing. Well, it's a little bit crooked, but because it's wet glue, I can easily straighten that out. And I'm using the same wet glue to close this tag. In addition to what I'm doing right now, like I said, you can make a shaker tag out of this. I'm using some of the window sheets by Stampin' Up! And then closing off the entire label with some glue. The other thing you could do is keep this open, like not close it with like a ribbon or something, and then have like a secret message coming from this, this tag. That I'm not doing, but these are a couple of ideas that I have with this wonderful die set. The great thing about this tag is that you could easily make it and not add it to a card like I'm doing, but that would be possible. I'm also using a little bit of the liquid glue in the middle of one of the snowflakes, and I'm pulling up the points, I don't know if that's correct English, of the snowflake a little bit, so it creates a little bit of dimension. And I'm pulling it down in the middle using my Take Your Pick tool so that it gets a chance to actually glue to the vellum, because that's also a little bit slippery, so it needs a little bit longer to dry. I'm only putting on some glue on the outer edge of the glove or the mitten. I think it is mitten. and otherwise forgive me. And I'm adding that to the tag, and it kind of overlaps the snowflake. And then I'm going to be using some of the mini dimensionals, if I can. Where did I put them? Oh, well, I'm going to use an edge of the regular dimensionals, just tiny bit, because I want to add the sentiment partly onto my mitten and partly onto the label. So one half of my sentiment label is with a dimensional, the other half is with some glue, because I'm going to be putting that on top of my glove mitten, like so. I love these colors together, and I'm going to be adding some of that wonderful polished pink open weave ribbon. You probably need about 10 centimeters or 4 inches, but it depends on what you want to, how much of the ribbon you want to have shown. Then I'm going to pull that through the little hole, very easy, and I'm just going to fold that together, and then I'm going to be tying a bow around it with the Starry Sky baker's twine, which comes in an in-color baker's twine pack, and you'll probably need about 20 centimeters or 8 inches of that to have a nice, cute little bow, keeping this fresh polished pink ribbon on in the tag. And if you would not be using this tag on a card, you could use it for a gift. And if you would use it for a gift, you could on the back use that stamp to and from and stamp that on the back, and then you have a really cute label. I actually like it a lot. To finish off this label, and later also the card, we're going to be using some of the iridescent pearl basic jewels. They have a very cute, like bluish iridescent color, and I really like that with the blues that I'm using in this card. So if you do it like this, you have your gift label for a present. And now I'm going to be actually attaching it to the card with some multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm going to be adding it in the right bottom corner of my layers. And I love these fresh colors together. I've said that already. And last but not least, I'm adding a couple of those, 2 more of those snowflakes to my card. And once again, I'm using the multi-purpose liquid glue for that. Just a little dollop in the middle, in the center of your snowflake. And once again, I'm pulling up those little, hands part of the snowflake, and I'm adding them to my card. Just to create some dimension. Holding the arm a little bit up. Then we're going to grab our iridescent pearls, and I'm using the smaller size. You have larger and smaller sizes, and I'm using the smaller size in the heart center of each snowflake, and that adds, besides the silver of the layer, some more bling to this card, a little iciness, if I may say so. And last but not least, I'm adding some dimensionals on this layer, and we're going to be attaching that to our base card. And I hope I was able to inspire you with this video and this project, and with my extra ideas. I just received this bundle, and this is my very first project with it. And I know that this bundle will be used a lot more often before the end of the year. So this brings me to the end of this video. This is my Celebrate with Tags project for the launch party. I hope you enjoyed it.